Perhaps you have observed that following your spiritual awakening, something shifts within you. Life no longer feels the same. The world's noise, the constant doing, and the rush to become someone or achieve something all seem burdensome now. You may find yourself yearning for rest, stillness, and simply existing. Suddenly, a question arises in your mind. Am I becoming lazy? You begin to ponder whether you have lost your drive, ambition, and sense of purpose. But what if that sensation is not laziness at all? What if it is something sacred that has been misunderstood? After your awakening, your old identity starts to fade. The version of you that was driven by ego, societal standards, and insatiable striving begins to dissipate. That self was always engaged in doing, proving, and chasing. Now, however, there is an internal awakening, accompanied by a profound need to slow down. It is as if your soul is gently urging you to pause, breathe, and listen. You are not being lazy. Rather, you are recalibrating and learning to exist without the pressure to constantly perform. Reflect on your life prior to awakening. Likely, it all revolved around expectations. You adhered to the script, maintained a certain pace, and did what you believed you were supposed to do. Yet, now that very script no longer resonates with you. Your previous goals may no longer inspire you, and routines you once followed may feel empty. This realization is not laziness, it is clarity. Your soul has drifted away from the hustle in search of something genuine and meaningful. Until you achieve that deeper alignment, you may feel lost or disinterested in the activities that once fueled your passion. This does not imply that you are broken. It signifies that you are awakening. Navigating this awkward in-between phase is uncomfortable. You are not who you once were, yet you are not entirely the person you are becoming. Consequently, your energy may wane and motivation might slip away, not due to laziness, but because your system is resetting. Your body, mind, and spirit are adjusting to this new mode of existence. You are no longer driven by fear or pressure. You are in the process of learning to be guided by intuition, which does not shout, it whispers. This requires silence, stillness, and deep listening. Therefore, if you feel compelled to do less, it is because your soul is finally being acknowledged. In fact, this phase represents one of the most significant components of your awakening, yet many misunderstand it. They may perceive themselves as stuck, depressed, or unproductive, but what is truly occurring is a profound transformation. You are shedding false motivations to uncover genuine inspiration, which arises not from external sources, but from within. For this to happen, you require space, stillness, and time to rest. So, if you are feeling lazy, consider the possibility that it is not a flaw, but a sign of healing. Indeed, this realization can be intimidating. We inhabit a society that celebrates constant action and views resting as weakness, while slowing down is often mistaken for failure. However, your awakening invites you to embrace a different truth. It encourages you to unlearn the notion that your worth is directly tied to your productivity. You are not here to hustle through life. Rather, you are here to remember your essence. And this remembrance frequently begins in the quiet, in the emptiness, in what might be mistakenly termed laziness, which is, in actuality, profound listening. There may be a part of you that fears the judgments of others. You might worry they will claim you have lost your edge. Perhaps your inner critic is louder than ever, pressuring you to get it together, do more, or be more. But it is essential to recognize that this voice does not reflect your truth. It is a product of conditioning that is in the process of being dismantled. Let it go. Permit yourself to rest and simply be. Not every season is intended for blooming, some are meant for rooting. You may also have noticed, after awakening, that even activities you once adored can start to feel devoid of significance. You might find yourself gazing at old passions, questioning why they no longer ignite your enthusiasm. It is not that you have become lazy or lost your spark. It is that your soul is undergoing reprogramming. You are no longer chasing superficial highs or dopamine hits. Instead, you are in search of something deeper and more authentic. The things that once delighted your ego fail to satisfy your spirit now. Therefore, if you feel uninterested, unmotivated, or uninspired, it does not equate to failure. It signals growth. Awakening does not merely alter how you feel, it transforms your internal compass, where your drive once stemmed from external expectations. Now it is your inner voice that dictates your path. Yet this inner voice speaks softly. It does not shout, nor does it hurry. It waits for you to quieten enough to hear it. This phase is teaching you to slow down so that you can finally listen to yourself. That is why everything else tends to fade away. That is why you may feel unproductive. Your old noise must dissipate for the authentic you to emerge. This shift is not merely a mental change. Your body feels it as well. You may experience increased fatigue, aches, or an unusual need for more sleep. This arises because energy is being redistributed and you are releasing tension and trauma you were previously unaware of carrying. Like any healing process, your body prioritizes recovery over activity. It is saying, allow me to rebuild you from within. During this reconstruction, you may not exhibit the same outward energy. That is entirely acceptable. You are not disintegrating, you are being restored. Here is the important point that many fail to grasp. You are not meant to remain in this seemingly lazy phase indefinitely. Instead, it is a sacred pause, much like winter preceding spring. It is a season of stillness before a new chapter unfolds. However, if you attempt to force yourself out of it too soon, or if you shame yourself into productivity, you will overlook the gift embedded in this moment. These moments are not about doing more, they are about becoming more aligned, more awakened, and more honest. This evolution requires stillness, patience, and love. Have you ever tried to meditate while feeling agitated? You cannot impose peace under such circumstances. The same holds true for this phase. You cannot compel your soul into action when it is asking for rest. Should you push through, you risk burning out again. Yet, if you listen and honor the need for a slower pace, you will witness something magical unfold. Your energy will return not through forceful effort, but through alignment. You will begin to feel drawn rather than pushed toward what genuinely resonates with you, not what you believe you should do, but what you are meant to do. You may have already noticed subtle indications, a quiet idea that recurs, a sense of peace in nature, or a pull towards something creative, simple, or authentic. These are soul whispers. They are neither loud nor urgent, but they are real. When you cease to judge yourself for doing nothing, you create the space to follow these prompts. That is when the perception of laziness transitions into presence, awareness, and genuine soul-led living. It is also crucial to acknowledge that every individual's awakening journey is unique. Some people experience significant outward changes, such as changing jobs, ending relationships, or relocating, while others undergo internal transformations that might not be visible to the outside world. If your awakening manifests through doing less, speaking less, or moving at a slower pace, that does not render it any less legitimate. Stillness is also a valid path. We are so accustomed to identifying ourselves by our activities, yet you are not your output, you are not your accomplishments, and you are not your productivity. You are a soul, and at times the most powerful action a soul can take is to pause, listen, feel, and rest. This is not weakness, it is wisdom and strength in a world that has forgotten the value of stillness. So, if you currently feel lazy, let us reframe that. Perception. You are not lazy, you are in a sacred transformation. Your energy is recalibrating, your values are evolving, and your soul is urging you to slow down and genuinely connect with what is real. If that entails lying in bed on certain days, taking long walks without a destination, or embracing less while feeling more, then so be it. This is not laziness, it is listening, healing, and awakening. You do not owe any explanations to anyone, not your family, not your friends, nor even your former self. This segment of your journey is not intended to be comprehended by the world. It is meant to be honored by you. You are traversing a path that may not be visible to the eye, yet it is profoundly known by the soul. On this path, rest is sacred, stillness is holy, and what might appear as laziness is actually your soul rediscovering what truly matters. Thus, the next time guilt surfaces, the guilt associated with not doing enough, being enough, or achieving enough, pause, breathe, and remind yourself you are not falling behind. You are falling inward toward your truth, your light, and your authentic self. This is not laziness, it is divine timing and unfolding. Eventually, your energy will rise again, but this time, it will feel different, not frantic or forced, but fluid, full of purpose and peace. When that day arrives, you will look back at this period, not as a waste of time, but as sacred ground. For all, this was the moment your soul took the lead. This was the moment you ceased running and began remembering, and what could be more powerful than that? So, no, you are not lazy. You are awakening, and that makes all the difference.